Hello and welcome to ThePapare.com. Hello.
It's almost over. They ain't gonna let it pull me under. But I will conquer.
Very good afternoon and welcome to the police park as we bring you live pictures of this Dialogue Rugby League 4th round clash between police and Havelock Sports Club. Havelock's just making the short trip over from Havelock Park to Police Park, just crossing the bounds of Timirigasya to try and maintain their unbeaten record. Havelock's one of 3 teams who are unbeaten in the league so far. A lot of that will change this week as 2 of those unbeaten teams meet each other when CR travels up to Nitnavala. And this is a game that Havelock's will be hoping will maintain their unbeaten streak and they will be able to stay top of the table at least for 2 days when CR plays. So look for a good bonus point performance from them. The police will be trying to recover from the last outing that they had here. That was at the hands of CRNFC, a 38-10 reversal. But they've had more than a week now to practice without their Fijian fly half, Emosi Vunivosi, the man who was the playmaker in the first couple of weeks for them. And now they have a little bit more notice in this police versus Havelock's clash that they will not be able to field their foreign player, and as a result of that they will have done plenty of work to try and fill that gap that he has left, the yawning gap I would add, in the midfield for police as a result of that court order. So as we look out over Police Park, there's been a bit of rain here and the underfoot conditions will be a little muddy and we're expecting thunderstorms later in the day as well, but it's a nice cool day, which means that the intensity of the game will probably go up. The forwards will be anticipating a good hit out today, and I think if it's a forwards battle, police will be quite happy with that because Havelocks do have some quality backs, the quality of which police do not quite possess, and the weather conditions, if it rains a little harder on later in the evening, I think might go in by the way of police. So police's scrum and police's lineout have been good. Sanat Martis also places a lot of emphasis on the Havelocks scrum and lineout, so that will be a huge turning point in today's game. Havelocks coming off a big win against Navy Sports Club, 2-3 from last year's league, and they managed to win. It was a convincing win in the end, 22 points to 18, but it was a close run thing nevertheless. Army Sports Club going down to Kandy last week, and that was despite Kandy travelling down to Ratmalana. They'll be much stronger in their hometown of Nithavala, and police, as I said, suffering a reversal to CRNFC, conceding 6 tries, and that will be something that concerns Shamli Nawaz the most, and I'm sure he's worked on that defence. Air Force also going down to CH, who recorded their first win of the weekend as well, 26 points to 18 over the Air Force team that tried manfully in the first half but just ran out of steam in that game. So CHNFC will be hoping that that first win will put them on course for maintaining an unbeaten record this weekend as well. So that's all going to change this weekend. Kandy Sports Club plays CRNFC, so one plays 2, and as a result of that you can expect one of those 2 to drop down. CR will be fancying their chances against a Murray-jealous Kandy Sports Club, but Havelocks look for them to climb up to number 1, at least temporarily today, if they beat Police and beat them with a bonus point as well. So those bonus points already becoming really important, because Kandy have 2 bonus points, and although they are unbeaten along with the other 2 teams at the top of the table, it seems that they have a 2-point advantage already, because they've managed to pick up those bonus points that CRNFC and Havelocks have not been able to do so far. So Havies will definitely be going out for a bonus point, so expect to see some entertaining rugby today. They'll be kicking for the corners, and they won't be satisfied with just a win. Here's the clash from last year, and Havelocks, of course, doing pretty well last year. They were up there in the league. Police scoring first through Wajid Faumi. Outstanding player he is, but he's not with Police any longer. Sudham Suryarachi just stepping straight through that gap. He's with CH now, so both those players who scored last year have left their clubs. Nice burst from the wing 3-quarter. Look for Sachit Silva, the former Josephian, who will retain his place at the back. He suffered an injury last week, but will be expected to play the full game today. Sudham Suryarachi streaking away. That was about a 65-meter try last year rather, and he was the difference between the 2 teams as well. Place kicking probably won't be the deciding factor in today's game, but here's a nice burst from Chamara Dabare, touching down the Havelocks man, and he will be expected to do a lot more today. Riza Mubarak, who put over that kick from last year, is not in the starting lineup today. He's not even on the bench. Suffered a stride quadricep injury, so he will not be on the park. So I think the place kicking duties will be shared among that Havelock starting crew. So quite a few players missing. Rahul De Silva, who started for Havelocks last year as well, and that was the result from last year's encounter. 24-all draw, and that's how it turned out. So we'll be expecting another keen encounter, and 1 draw and 7 to Havelocks in the last 3 years, or the last 4 years since 2014. A superb performance from Havelocks last year, and they'll be able to they will be trying to make sure that they bring in another good performance.
This match is brought to you by EFL, proud sponsor of the Sri Lanka Rugby Referees and Havelock Sports Club.
Havelock Sports Club. Joining me in the commentary box after a long break. Haven't seen you in a long time, Paul. Good to see you.
Hi Shanika, hi viewers. Nice to be here on a Friday afternoon. Out of the rain, it stopped raining. The track will be a little bit wet, a little bit greasy. The ball will be greasy, so it'll be testing conditions for both teams here today. But hopefully we'll have clear skies, and that'll make for running rugby.
Yes, the sun has come out, and as a result of that, hopefully we will be able to see the game getting a little bit more open as we go on. Here's a starting 15 for Police. Lahiru Pavitra, expect more from him. He didn't carry the ball much in last week's game. Rasit Silva did though, and Danushka Edrisuri as well put in a yeoman service in that front row. Nisal Samadhi and Mohan Vimalaratna will be a key figure in the lineouts. Vagisha Veerasinghe has also failed to impress since his move from CRNFC. Needs to roam around the park a bit more. Udar Surya Peruma on the blind side, and Shanaka Harisran, the big ball carrying number 8. Tuan Shifas and Johan Pires pair off in the absence of Emosi Vonivosi. Sachit Silva moves to the left wing from fullback. Iroshan Silva and Vihanga Pivituru in the midfield. Sujan Korituaku and Kasun Suranga in the fullback berth today. Amjad Faumi, Deshan Fernando, Rukshan Dayanta, Muhammad Dean, Janit Chandima look for the speedster to come on. Primesh Danushka, Kasun Mendis and Janit Chanaka, another speedster waiting in the wings. Here's the Havelock's team just running out onto the park. Zayan Sabah starts one of these few games. He's moved from hooker to a loose head. Ajmer Fajuddin also, his throwing will be tested in these conditions with a greasy ball. Liston Flatney, Shara Fernando and Umesh Madhushan. That makes a really daunting front five for any team to come up against. Senal Silva and Shaukat Lahir have been outstanding this season so far. Lahir in particular, Lasindu Ishan Karunathilaka, we all know what he can do. Vibhukti Rahula pairs off with Niroshan Fernando, the captain. Chamara Dabare is a strong runner on the left wing. He'll be looking for work in these conditions. Dinu Kamarasinghe has been one of the sensations for Sri Lanka in the 7th circuit. Iranga Aryapala, Sashan Mohammed, Prince Chamara, and the bench, Delpachitra, Priyadarshana Bandara, Lakshan, Hera, Javikrama, Janit and Giragama. So almost ready for kickoff now at Police Park. And Havelock's on paper the much better team as Niroshan Fernando kicks off and the ball falls immediately to Shanaka Harishchandran. Wasn't a tidy kickoff ball, but claimed nevertheless.
Yeah, that's right. Look, Police are just going to try and go through their systems here, take the ball up. They're just playing a close game at the moment, just trying to test the waters, as it were.
Here's Edri Surya. The front row did plenty of ball carrying last week. Vagesha Veerasinghe getting in there and just trying to disrupt, kicking his fly half Tuan Shifas in the process. Looked like there might have been a little bit of an early tackle on Surya Peruman and that offload went awry. But here's Pivithuru trying to find a way through. Nice inside ball, and here's Police with a little bit of a move on. Getting up to almost a halfway line, still retaining the ball. This is good work from them. Shifas, the ball is slow. And here's the inside pass once again on the switch, coming back on the angle. And here's a nice wide ball to Pavitra. And here's Rasit Silva ranging way out on the wing, trying to find a mismatch. Harish Chandra has done plenty of work. They're willing ball runners, this Police team. Here's Shifas again. And another burst from Pivithuru, pops it up. And still in the hands, Sachit Silva, and it's a forward pass, says the referee. So good start from Police, trying to throw the ball around despite it being a little wet.
Yeah, look, it was a good start. What I like to see there is their breakdown's really good and clean, and they're getting the ball back nicely. But also they're challenging the back line, they're challenging the defence, and just getting a shoulder through, finding a weak shoulder, and then looking for the offload as well. They've got lots of runners coming in on the inside and the outside as well, so there's lots of support lines being run. And then the setup off the ruck is really good. Although it's still early in the game, you know, it's only a minute 50, it's good to see those systems in place already.
Yes, signs of a well-coached team. Police, it's just the decision-making and the experience that they're short of, which is something that this Havelock's team have in abundance. Two championship-winning captains in that back row for Havis, Senal Dilaka, as well as Lasindu Ishan Karunathilaka. Here's Vimukti Rahula finding Niroshan Fernando, the experienced man, looking for a little bit of space now on the outside for Chamara Dabare. Good tackle on him. Excellent defense that time by the Police wing. And Havelocks have a chance to recycle now. Vagesha Veerasinghe was having problems with that scrum cap last week as well. Sashan Mohammed. Senal Dilaka driven back in the tackle. Excellent defense from Police early doors. Ajmer Fahuddin managed to get the ball away to his front row colleague Zayan Sabar. Police retain the ball. And here's Surya Peruma charging up, leaving the defensive line. Dinu Kamarasinghe trying to find space on the outside. Here's a nice cutback from Liston Flatney, it looked like. Niroshan Fernando. Fajuddin. Vivekti Rahula again. Niroshan Fernando looks for Zayan Sabar. Here the speedsters. Chamara Dabare trying to find his way into the 22 and does so. And not coming through the gate, says the referee. That was 6 of one, half a dozen of another call, but the referee right on the spot to see that the Police arriving player, that looked like it was Pivithuru, or Eroshan Silva rather, who didn't come through the gate, Paul.
Yeah, it was either not coming through the gate or else no release in the tackle. If he was the tackle assist, he didn't come through the gate. But look, I'm liking what Havies are showing us in the first couple of minutes as well. They're moving the ball around. They've got it showing a little bit more imagination off the ruck, of their attack off the ruck. They're moving 1 and 2 passes and then going out the back and using their backs in the third and fourth phase as well. So that's excellent. It's excellent play.
And it'll be interesting to see whether police will contest this line out. Umesh Madhushan is a very good jumper at number 2. And that was well taken by Shara Fernando in the middle. Fajruddin finding his man first up. And this is excellent counter drive from police, but they splintered it. And the ball seems to have been knocked forward. So really good defense from Lairu Pavitra there. Comes up with the ball in the end. And the counter drive, it's really important that you hit them early before they're able to set up ball, and they managed to do that.
Yeah, that's right, but it's the thing is, Shanaka, you can't hit them in ones. You have to go in 2s and 3s, and really you need 4 people hitting those rucks. And they managed to hit them with a couple of numbers and then push them across, and it's just splintered up the initial drive, and that's where they managed to get a player through and got their hands on the ball and disrupted that. We know how good Havies have been this year with their driving maul. It's a strength of theirs. They've got a good line-out thrower and Fajruddin, so they'd expect more from that.
Watch for this scrum to really turn the screws on police. This will be a real test for the big boys in that police front row, because they're coming up against some experience as well as some young talent. Fajruddin and Zayan Sabah, still very young players. And Liston Flatney's been around for a while though, and evenly matched in terms of weight, I would think. But it's where the engine room comes into play. That's Umesh Madhushan and Shara Fernando. Those two guys are really a head and shoulders, literally and metaphorically, above the opposition.
Yeah, that's right. That's the engine room. That's the Mac power. Everything goes through those two guys, and there you see the power coming on there again.
Harish Chandra does well off a scrum going backwards. That's a real test of a number 8, and he's been able to master that. Coached, of course, by one of the best in the business, Shamli Navas. So that's really good clearance from police. Very competent work. Scrum was under pressure. Number 8 break and the first phase, and the fly half managed to get them beyond the 22. So good exit route.
Yeah, really great exit. Good for their confidence. They know that they can go down and be within 5 metres of their own try line and have a defensive line out, hold them out, then have a defensive scrum 5 metres out and still clear the ball, and now they're outside the 22. Let's see if they can build on that again.
So Havelocks will aim to do what they couldn't do at the 5 metre mark, just outside the 22. Good throw to the back, and a nice peel off as well from Sabah, who straightened things up and hands off to the experienced Shara Fernando. Liston Flatney takes it up into the 22, and now quick ball for Havelocks. Here's where they're running their lines. Nice little back of the hand offload to Dinu Kamarasinghe, but Havies bundled out into touch. So again, the silky skills of Dinu Kamarasinghe coming into play. And given the way his stature and the way he plays the game, Paul, it's a huge comparison. But he's got that something kind of characteristic about him, isn't he? Tall, lanky, just throws the ball around.
Yeah, look. Sunnybell Williams.
Everything is relative.
Would like to see Danuk on the paddock a little bit more than we see Sunnybell Williams these days, at least. But you're right, he does carry himself with a presence, and he's got that offload going. He's left-handed. Sunnybell's is right-handed.
Nice take from Surya Peruma at the front of the line-out. Not trying too much fancy, because they know that Umesh Madhushan is a very good defensive line-out jumper as well. And another good clearance from police on their own line. They'll probably have to do that all day. Johan Pires clearing.
Yeah, look, I'm liking what I'm seeing there at number 10. Although he doesn't actually challenge the line when they're attacking, his clearances so far have been nice and calm, and he's right on the money. He's very accurate. I see him, he's talking a lot to those players outside him, so that's what you need from a 10. You need to instill confidence into your forwards.
Third line out in a row for Havelocks. Fajuddin has found his markers, and here's Sharo Fernando going back to number 6, but we've jinxed him. He's overthrown that one a little bit, and Harish Chandra leaves it behind as well. So little ping pong game on the floor, and Havelocks come away with the ball. So no damage done. It's a bust up from Sabar. Vivukti Rahula finds Sharo Fernando. 1 out rugby from Havelock so far, trying to earn the right to go wide. Here's Flatney. Big man brought down well into the 22, makes good yards. Fernando now looking for Amarasinghe, and that's tried the back of the hand offload again, but good defense on him. Chamra Dabare does well going back to tidy up that ball. Here's Flatney again, takes it up to the line. It's Fajuddin actually. And here's a little basketball pass from Sabar. Surya Peruma gets Flatney. Eventually, here's Niroshan Fernando, hands off. And here's some numbers on the left for Niroshan, but Lasindu Ishan Karunatilaka is caught as well by Johan Piris, the fly half on the number 8. Still going though. Another good tackle on Shaukat Lahir. Another really good tackle again, that time by Shanaka Harish Chandra, who wins the penalty for his team. So although police have been pinned back in their half, they've managed to hold fast.
Yeah, and hold fast is what they needed to. Games normally swing backwards and forwards, momentum changes, and at the moment all the momentum's with Havies. Havies looked a little bit concerned on the bench there, Amarasinghe. When he did that little flick out the back, he just twisted his knee and he was on the ground. He looked like he was in a bit of trouble, but he's managed to run it off. Let's hope that doesn't affect his game. But Havies have got the ball a lot. You see the police defence, they're well organised, they're getting up really quickly. And after 2 or 3 phases, Havies are just running out of ideas. They're doing one-off, one-out attacks because they're just not getting reorganised quicker than the defence.
Shortened line out for police this time, just a 4-man in it. Rasid Silva looks for Surya Perum and does well to find him. And here's a few truck runners, but they've got to do better than that. Police have worked hard to win that ball and then cough it up very cheaply. And on the counter-attack, let's look at what Havies have in store now. And again a knock-on, so the greasy ball doing its job. And I thought there was plenty of advantage off that first knock-on. They're lucky to get that put into the scrum, Havelocks.
Yeah, look, I suppose there was a little bit of advantage, but not as much as from a scrum as what they decided there, and there wasn't enough territorial or tactical advantage. But with the ball as slippery as this, that's twice police have coughed up the ball in the last couple of minutes. What they might need to think about is maybe just having a few shorter passes, just hold the ball for a little while and just build some continuity, and also it gives your defence a little bit of a break if you hold on to the ball.
Yeah, absolutely, Paul. They would have been desperate to hang on to that one, especially as it was a line out on the 50-meter mark almost. And this is a really good attacking platform for Havelocks. Watch for that flanker duo, Lahir on the near side with the scrum cap and Senal Dilek on the blind. Watch for them to pop up in support, whichever way that Havies choose to go today. Niroshan Fernando is lined up on the left. And Karuna Tilaka looks like he might be thinking about going himself. Yes, he does. And Vagesh Veerasinghe is up on him in a flash. Again, a good charge down. So Police's defense, once again, not being taken unawares. They look like they're prepared for whatever Havies has in store for them.
Well, what does Havies have in store for them? I don't think the number 8 knew what they had in store there at that point. Like, that's a really poor mix-up. Difficult to defend a scrum in the middle of the field, especially with so much space in the backfield as well. And Havies really messed that up. They really didn't take control of that situation. They could have gone left or right. They ended up going nowhere. And now they're back in their own half.
Yes, they could have gone left or right and ended up going backwards, Paul. It's Very confusing for Malasindu Ishan. Usually a guy who likes to go forwards at a rate of knots. Again, untidy ball. That time completely Sharo Fernando missing that one. Decent throw. And here's Police looking to go blindside. Mohan Vimalaratne feigns the inside pass. In fact, it's Edri Surya. Here's Surya Peruma. Scored a try last week against Sia. He's been playing very well. Shifaz gives it to Lairu Pavitra. Runs into his opposite number, Liston Flatney. Shifaz, the ball is little slow. Here's Surya Peruma again. Passes out that time to Nisal Samadhi. And that ball was interfered with by one of the lazy runners for Police. And lucky not to give away a penalty there.
Yeah, that's right. They were lucky there. But what I'd like to see Police do, we just saw there they're holding the ball in a little bit closer, so they're not doing the wide passes that have been causing a few drop balls. I'd also like them like to see them play a little bit of territory. If Javies are going to run the ball a lot, make them run the ball out of their 22, and then let's play from there. And it might just take the pressure off Police a little bit. But now they're down at the 22. They've got a throw in. Let's see what their attack can do.
Rasit Silva needs to make sure that he finds his jumper here first of all. Going to the back. And that was really well held. Vagesh Veerasinghe at the back, and Police have now, for the first time in this game after 15 minutes, made it into the Havelock's 22. Everyone lying all over that ball. Referee not pulling it up though. And here's Edri Surya, looks a little isolated, needs some help. Gets it eventually. And Shifaz, and this is where Police have suffered a little bit. Their halves combination completely rejigged after that court ruling where Imosi Vonivosi was deemed ineligible, temporarily at least. Rasit Silva taking route one. Goes straight into Shaukat Lahir. Tries to slow the ball down, but is cleaned out. Sharo Fernando, another master of the dark arts in that ruck. Havelock's tight five will revel in this kind of rugby. But it seems very good technique. Police are doubling up and making sure that Javies don't have a chance, don't have any space to spot that ball in the breakdown. As soon as you give them a sniff, they'll take it. And here is a turnover, is it? No. They still have it. Havelocks are going through the middle. They're not going to allow any wide ball from here. Rasit Silva. They've made good meters, made about 10 or 12 meters with this. And the coach won't mind it at all. It doesn't look fancy, but it's effective. And now they've gone wide. Shifaz, inside ball. Lovely burst from the number 20 for Havelocks, Vihanga Pivitiru, for Police rather. Gets close to the line, and now they'll go again. Good defense from Havelocks as well. The Umesh Madhushan on the fringe, making sure that he doesn't allow anyone close in. And that's the line you see, and that's a try. Man, getting up with the ball is Lairu Pavitra. I was saying before the kickoff that we haven't seen him carry the ball enough, Paul, the former Royalist, and now he's gone and scored a try.
Look, he did really well, but it wasn't just him who got them over the line. There were all 8 forwards there that they really rolled their sleeves up and decided to take the ball in and go forward inch by inch almost. I did like when they just sucked in a little bit more defence. They just had 1 or 2 passes. They went outside the number 3 defender, created a little bit more of a hole and went and gained some more metres that way, and then just took it back in tight again. And sometimes when the ball's slippery, this is the way you have to play.
Yes, I think they did really well to make that one pass out, and Pivituru made the dart, and then suddenly they went back into that tight game. So they moved away from the forwards that were doing all that defense and maybe moved into the backs a little bit more and hit them harder. So good thinking that time, good execution from Police as well. And let's see whether Sachit Silva can add the icing on the cake. Recovered from his injury from last week with a 2-pointer. So a surprise lead for Police. They spent most of 15 minutes in their own half defending desperately, and then have come back, and their first foray into the 22 for Havelock's Leeds tries. Here's the replay. And here's Pavitra barging over, referee right on the spot, and he sees it there. Shara Fernando just trying to shield the referee's view, but the ref was right there to see it. So Dinu Kamarasinghe goes out, Paul.
Yeah, so that was that injury when he was on the 22 and he did that little flick out the back. He just twisted his knee and it was an awkward landing. I'm glad they've taken him out as a precautionary measure, and it's a long season. We want him to come back fully fit.
Yes, hopefully from a Havelocks and Sri Lanka point of view, it won't be a big injury. Lochana Girahagama comes in. And here's Lasindu Ishan. Sashan Mohammed will probably move into the centre berth vacated by Dinu Kamarasinghe. And a nice spot from Niroshan Fernando using all his experience and finding the space left by the winger, and will let his forwards do the job from here.
Yeah, I thought that's what needed to happen next after that try, that two teams would just start playing a little bit of territory. It was a great exit there. Up from the kick-off, Police got all the way down into the to the 10-metre line inside Javi's half, but then Javi just came out with a really smart kick, managed to get up to the 22.
In fact, off your screen, Lochana Girahagama has slotted straight into the number 12 position, just inside Aryapala. So Sashan Mohammed and Chamara Davara will stay on the wings. Good variation in the line out from Police. They will look for a box kick, but they don't have it in the armory of Tuan Shifaz. Again, nice flat ball for Rasit Silva. He's been one of the chief ball carriers for Police. Edru Surya now to the try scorer, Lahiru Pavitra. Here's Johan Pires again. Prince Chamara does well to communicate with Chamara Dabare. And that's a good tackle by Sachit Silva on his opposite number. In fact, it was Eroshan Silva. Madhushan takes it into contact. Here are the big truck runners now. Sharo Fernando, the two big locks carrying the ball for Police effectively there. Penalty coming in favour of Havelocks. Referee's got his arm out. And Aryapala screams for the kick to be put in because he knew he had the advantage. It was a good call. And if the kick was a little better directed, a little deeper, Aryapala was in business.
Yeah, a little deeper or maybe in a little bit shorter. Might have made it more contestable, but so the referee just pulling the Police team up for being offside, which I find inconsistent because they've been offside. Both teams have been offside at the ruck for the majority of the game. By the letter of the law, Shanaka, they're meant to be behind the last foot of the ruck, and if you have a look, viewers, you'll be able to see that neither side are doing that. So the referee deciding that maybe this time he's going to start policing that.
It's like the no balls in cricket, isn't it, Paul? You get closer and closer towards the line and suddenly you only call it when there's a wicket. So Zahan Sabah coming off might be a blood bin. He's been replaced. And here's Police trying to run this one out. Sachit Silva having a little bit of space. And here's Girahagama getting across to make sure he catches Suranga Kasun. And Police winning a penalty. So gaining 40 meters from that move. But unfortunately may have lost a player in the process. Suranga Kasun doesn't look in great shape.
Yeah, I think he might have just copped a little high shot. Just played that for the referee to maybe have a look at it. But that's a third overthrow there from Javi. So they want to make sure they look at that. And generally, from hookers, if they underthrow, they're lacking in confidence. So that Can we really say that Vajradeen's overconfident with his throws and he's just throwing it over the top? 3 in a row, it's not acceptable.
Also needs to be better communication. Fajradeen's got to be able to say, look, guys, we'll get into that a little bit later. Let's just try and make sure we win the ball. He's not a lad who lacks confidence at all. Ajmer Fajradeen. His brother played for SIA and Air Force. Shamir Fajradeen. Both royalists of repute. Vagisha Veerasinghe takes it at the back. Mohan Vimalaratne hits it up, first phase. And here's a burst up from Mohan Vimalaratne again. Harish Chandra cuts back on the inside. Police are standing. Need to hit this ball a little bit more momentum. And Tuan Shifaz finds a way through. Should probably have held on to the ball there, unfortunately for Police. And here's Sharo Fernando now, who will take this one out of the 22. Good defense on him by Johan Pires, who's not been shy in the tackle for a fly half. Here's the new man coming on for Havelocks, the big number 1. Rahal Delpachitra. Sachit Silva on the left wing. Will look to find, and that's a nice big long pass. Trying to take Chamra Dabare on the outside, but Dabare does well. Good clean out from Police as well. And Tuan Shifaz finds a little support. Johan Pires now to Edri Surya. Surya Peruma. Sachit Silva now. Stepping his way through. Sachit Silva. Nice to find the offload, but again, it's a 50-50 ball. Police have thrown a few of these and really messed up what was excellent ball retention in the first 10 minutes of the game. And they're just throwing those 50-50 balls and undoing the good work.
Yeah, it's just their presentation and their ball carry isn't quite secure enough. They don't treat the ball with enough respect. And they're going into contact with just a loose ball carry. One arm, balls away from their body. It's just a small thing, but if they clean that up, they can hold on to the ball for longer, and then they'll be able to put more pressure on Heavies. There is space on the far side. We just saw then if Johan Pires, if he gets his eyes up, or if the centres or the wingers on the far side can get their eyes up, see where the space is, give the communication back inside, they might be able to take advantage of that.
Havelock's putting the big shove on. And getting the penalty as well. So good work from the tight 5 there.
Yeah, look, I think that's what we'll see more of. If games get tighter with Coach Martis, as they get tighter, the way they play becomes tighter and they take the ball more and more into the forwards, generally.
So it's good awareness as well from Havelock's Paul, realizing that maybe they just need to get into the opposition half, play the percentage game.
Yeah, look, they've got a great forward pack. That's where I'd go if I was in a little bit of trouble or if I was losing the ball. Now, here's an opportunity for Fajradeen to get his throw right.
Here's Shara Fernando. Again, not the best collection from Fernando. The timing isn't great, and Shaukat Lahir taking this up with some venom. Here's a burst from the Police replacement drop, and that ball was knocked forward.
So I just had a look at that last line out. That wasn't the throw, that was the lifters. The lifters weren't getting the jumper up high enough, so that was a problem for them. Obviously, when line out throws, it's more than one person. There's deception in the whole line. The calling's got to be right, the timing's right, so it's the thrower, the lifters, the jumper, the fake. Everyone's got to be in unison, and that's the great thing about rugby. The ball just doesn't come back on its own. Everyone's got to work together as a team. So here now, Heavies have got an opportunity. There's a big blind side. Oh, actually, they're defending. So Police have got an opportunity. There's a big blind side with only one winger on that far side.
Haven't spotted it though. Tuan Shifas. And Pires will look for the kick. It's a well-placed kick right in between Prince Chamara and Chamara Dabare. And the two Chamaras eventually combine to kick the ball out into touch. So a good gain for Police plus the ball. So a well-directed kick by Johan Pires. They look like they'd identified what they're going to do in that particular area of the pitch. And the man marching towards the touchline now is Dushmanta Priyadarshana. He's come on in favor of Zayan Sabah. So it looks like it was a tactical substitution, Paul.
Yeah, it's an early one. 25 minutes that was. So I'd like to see Police, instead of just going from the copybook, from their playbook and playing by numbers where they are on the field, just to get their eyes up and have a look at what the defence is doing.
That's a good throw from Rasit Silva to the back of the line out. Johan Pires now, and Shanaka Harishchandra hits a nice flat ball. Here's Surya Peruma. Little kick put in by Kasun Suranga, but not sure that was the best advised. And hands on the ball from Suranga that time. Chased up his own kick, but referee very, very strict with having numbers in that ruck. Looked like they could easily have cleared away Kasun Suranga.
Yeah, look, that was an interpretation there, and the referee just played it in Javi's favour. But I'm liking the way that Police are holding on to the ball, controlling territory. That's what teams can do if they play an attacking style of play, but games can get away from them, and that's what I think happens to Police every now and again. They play a good brand of rugby, but then they just lose control of the ball, and then the opposition has possession, and the game just slips away. But if they can control possession and territory, they'll see the clock eat itself up.
Fajrin that time throws it over the Police defender. Chamara Dabare coming in off his wing, bumps off one tackle, not another. And here's some quick ball. Fajrin passes it on with good hands to the on-rushing Umesh Majusan, his Royal teammate. Here's Niroshan Fernando, takes it to the line. Haven't seen him running the ball too much, Niroshan. And Police look like they've turned it over. And again, the kick is just short of the 22. Chamara Dabare, and here's Police with an opportunity. Here's Kasun Suranga. Does beautifully to get that ball into play again. And that was a superb handoff on Dushmanta Priyadarshana. And what a try from Eroshan Silva it is, who went over under the sticks. And it was a kick that I thought should not have been made, but they made a complete hash of it at the back, Havelocks. And the bouncing ball was really well controlled, first by Vagisha Veerasinghe and then from Kasun Suranga. If we can show you the replays of those, you'll see exactly how much Police put into to score that try.
Yeah, so it was a really well constructed try there, although what they did is the defence ended up having to do its work, and then they turned the ball over. There was quick ball, it was quick counter-attack. Someone recognised the space. I saw a whole lot of forwards there pointing to the space in the backfield. I don't know if that's some of the fatties saying that just kick it down that way, we don't need to run it too much, but it came off. The ball found the turf, it bounced up into the air. The Police managed to get onto the ball and didn't panic too much. They held onto the ball, they looked for space, but what a run by Silva. Got half through the gap, then that beautiful fend, looked like a Frank Bunce fend there.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Sachin Silva adds the icing on the cake of his elder brother's try. So a happy day in the Silva household. Both brothers getting on the score sheet. So show you that try, it's worth looking at again. Here's the kick coming in. And Lahiru Pavitra pointing to the backfield. And that kick was brilliantly short of the 22. Prince Chamara made a hash of it. It was a good tackle by Kasun Suranga. And this is where the try was made. He didn't throw that 50-50 ball. And Kasun Suranga controlled that beautifully. Threw this one in. And Tuan Shifas. Here's Eroshan Silva against two front five players. And he backed himself.
So those sort of mismatches there we saw a 13 running at two tight forwards. That's what we want backs to be seeing, and that's what we want backs to be communicating to their number 9 and number 10 and saying, hey, give me the ball. I've got these two guys in front of me and I think I can beat them.
Well, Coach Sanath Mart is ringing the changes, Paul. Sharo Fernando has also come off, as did Jayan Sabha. And it looks like Ganidhu Lakshan in the number 33 jersey will be going on, as has the number 17, Chanaka Bandara. Heavily strapped left leg for Bandara in the number 17 shirt. And Prince Shamara gets us underway again. Shanaka Harishchandra tackled by Bandara. So police now will just decide it's more of the same for us. Just keep doing what we've been doing and try and exploit the weakness under the high ball of that police back three that they seem to have noticed.
No, Rex.
And as you're saying, Paul, just shows the difference of a little bit of stability and experience. A fullback is like a goalkeeper in your team, isn't it? You know that something goes to the back and it can be dealt with competently, unspectacularly. That you've got so much confidence, and the stability that Reza Mubarak brings to the party has been missed by Havelocks.
Release the ball.
An accidental offside, says the referee. So Lahiru Pavitra absolutely livid with some of his police runners, saying, why did you block me, mate? Can see him having a go.
Yeah, that's right. But I'd like to see police actually get their eyes up and see where the space is. So Javi's had 4 players in the backfield. So if they've got 4 players in the backfield, that means there's space somewhere else. The edge in the middle of the park was really narrow for Javi's there. They just needed to pass probably 2-3 passes out into the back line, and then they would have been around the outside of them. And there was space, a lot of space on the far side. Even a kick pass to the wing on the far side, and they would have been away. So they need to get their eyes up, stop looking at the playbook, and start playing what's in front of them.
Set, steady.
I'd agree with you, Paul, if this wasn't a team so short on experience, though. And I think they might be just looking more for execution. Ganidhu Lakshan on in place of Shaukat Lahir, who was having a decent game, but I think they might have realized that they need to bolster their line out a little bit more. Must be why Ganidhu Lakshan is on. Good to see him back on the field after an ACL injury, so he's got that leg nicely strapped up. Been doing a lot of good recovery work as well. Really good line out forward.
Look, and we know that Javis won't be troubled by this. They'll be calm and collected. They're the comeback kings. They've come from behind in the last 2 weeks, so they know they can play a full 80 minutes.
Vagisha Veerasinghe stops Lasindu Ishan Karunathilaka, but Chanaka Harishchandra eventually fells him. And Havelocks will go tight again. It's worked for police, so they'll try a bit of their own as well. See whether the policemen can take a bit of their own medicine. And that ball is coughed up, so Chanaka Bandara, the new man on the park, just getting a feel of things.
Yeah, look, I thought it looked like Javis were almost just going through the paces there. Players are just picking the ball up, and it was almost like they were striding through treacle or going through slow motion, but they weren't actually attacking that the space that was in front of them. And that's what happens. A defender will come and say, right, I've got you, and he lined him up, hit him, and the ball came clear. So that's what police need to do more of. Let's see what they do in this position. I'd imagine they're going to go straight back to the Johan Peters in the pocket. Need to put that educated right boot to play.
Plenty of space behind Sashan Mohammed if Peris manages to find it. But first they've got to win the scrum. But they won't need to kick because they've got the penalty. Can see Dushmantha Priyadarshana looking at assistant referee Dinka Peris and saying that Lahiru Pavitra's doing something with his bind. And when Dushmantha Priyadarshana, such an experienced player, starts to look at the assistant referee, you know that the opposition has got a march on you. So here's Liston Flatney on the floor.
Yeah, so something happened in that scrum. It looks like he might have been twisted when the scrum went down. I mean, the scrum twisted, not Flatney twisted. But Javi's there. They've got a little huddle. They just had a little huddle then. The leaders got the boys together. Just said, look, let's stay calm. Let's go through our processes. Do what we do. We'll be able to come back into this. For police, they'll just want to keep playing territory and do more of the same.
Well, Flatney is probably on the fag end of the first half and maybe need a little bit of a breather. Looks like he's fine, and a decent kick from Johan Pires. It was centre field, so you've got to clear your way to the touchline as well. So all that considered, it was a good 60-metre kick almost. And this is where Ganindhu Lakshan will start making a nuisance of himself as a defensive line-out jumper. Bohan Vimalaratna and Udara Surya Peruma the targets here for Rasit Silva. Umesh Majusan with just a one lifter behind him, so Surya Peruma will look to take this in the front. Yes, and it's well done by police. They're going to play for half time, so they know exactly how much time is left on the clock. And Rasit Silva grabs it at the back. Stopped once, says the referee. That's good control from the ref, knowing exactly what's happening. And Rasit Silva now takes it off the back, fighting his way to the floor.
Release. No.
Lahiru Pavitra looks a different player after he scored that try. Hungry for some work. And here's Rasit Silva. Waits for it, but Chanaka Harishchandra takes it instead. Good tackle presentation that time, and a really good turnover. But no, it wasn't a good turnover, says Dushmanta Priyadarshan, who's a frustrated man today since he's come on. Referee says the ruck was formed. And again, knowing exactly that what time it is, Udara Surya Peruma points to the post, but I'm not sure that's the right call, Paul, because it's a big kick. Sachit Silva does have the range on him, but they're trying to play for half time.
Yeah, look, I would have liked to have seen them gone to the line-out. They've been successful in every line-out throw they've had, and we saw there how well constructed their line-out drivers. They might have been able to milk something a little bit more, a little bit closer to the try line, but here's the decision they made, and it was decisive, it was quick. So they're going to have a little shot at goal. He just stole a little half metre there back inside towards the posts.
Well, what Sachit Silva has to do is make sure he kicks this dead. It's his home ground, so he'll have a pretty good idea of what his range is. And that's a lovely thump, but just short. And that looks like it's half time, so he did the right thing and kicked it hard, so that police or Havelocks didn't have a chance to run it back at them. And at half time, a surprise lead for one of the bottom place clubs against the one of the unbeaten teams in the tournament so far. This is not something that a lot of us would have expected. And despite the loss of Emosi Vunivosi, police have shown that they can play. We'll be back after the break.
Crunchy munchy.
Fiery Kochi.
Crescent Kochi Bites. Try it. Love it. The original Kochi Bites only from Crescent. අපේ ගෙදර හැමෝටම ඉන්ටනෙට් ඕනේ. මොබිටෙල් වයිෆයි රවුටරේ නිසා ගෙදරදි කිසි ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ. අපි වෙන වෙනම ඉන්ටනෙට් ගියත් පැකේජ් එක එකයි. ඒත් ගෙදරින් එළියට ගියාම හැමෝටම පැකේජ් එක අරන් යන්න පුළුවන්ද? Hey බැරි. මොබිටෙල් වයිෆයි ප්ලස් පැකේජ් එක තියෙන්නේ. ලංකාවේ කොහේ ගියත් රවුටරේ ගෙදර තියෙද්දි ගෙදර හැමෝටම එකම පැකේජ් එකෙන් වෙන වෙනම ඉන්ටනෙට් යන්න පුළුවන් එකම ක්‍රමය. මොබිටෙල් වයිෆයි ප්ලස් විතරයි. ඒ විතරක් නෙමේ. එක බිලයි කනෙක්ෂන්ස් ගොඩයි. Crescent Mini Keeps. Try it. Love it. The original Mini Keeps only from Crescent. අපේ ගෙදර හැමෝටම ඉන්ටනෙට් ඕනේ. මොබිටෙල් වයිෆයි රවුටරේ නිසා ගෙදරදි කිසි ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ. අපි වෙන වෙනම ඉන්ටනෙට් ගියත් පැකේජ් එක එකයි. ඒත් ගෙදරින් එළියට ගියාම හැමෝටම පැකේජ් එක අරන් යන්න පුළුවන්ද? Hey බැරි. මොබිටෙල් වයිෆයි ප්ලස් පැකේජ් එක තියෙන්නේ. ලංකාවේ කොහේ ගියත් රවුටරේ ගෙදර තියෙද්දි ගෙදර හැමෝටම එකම පැකේජ් එකෙන් වෙන වෙනම ඉන්ටනෙට් යන්න පුළුවන් එකම ක්‍රමය. මොබිටෙල් වයිෆයි ප්ලස් විතරයි. ඒ විතරක් නෙමේ. එක බිලයි කනෙක්ෂන්ස් ගොඩයි.
Sophisticated selection of Yardley, London.
Breeder Fast Pulsar NS160 with wider tyres and twin disc brakes from David Pierce Motor Company Private Limited.
අපේ ගෙදර හැමෝටම ඉන්ටනෙට් ඕනේ. මොබිටෙල් වයිෆයි රවුටරේ නිසා ගෙදරදි කිසි ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ. අපි වෙන වෙනම ඉන්ටනෙට් ගියත් පැකේජ් එක එකයි. ඒත් ගෙදරින් එළියට ගියාම හැමෝටම පැකේජ් එක අරන් යන්න පුළුවන්ද? Hey බැරි. මොබිටෙල් වයිෆයි ප්ලස් පැකේජ් එක තියෙන්නේ. ලංකාවේ කොහේ ගියත් රවුටරේ ගෙදර තියෙද්දි ගෙදර හැමෝටම එකම පැකේජ් එකෙන් වෙන වෙනම ඉන්ටනෙට් යන්න පුළුවන් එකම ක්‍රමය. මොබිටෙල් වයිෆයි ප්ලස් විතරයි. ඒ විතරක් නෙමේ. එක බිලයි කනෙක්ෂන්ස් ගොඩයි.
දිවරපු යාල්පානතිල්ල.
මාතර කොටවිල ගම්පියසට ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා. සිරිතදාස ඇඩ්මෝරටුව පියගම මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ ක්‍රීඩාංගණය.
කිழக்கு மாகாணம்.
Sugadadasa Indoor Stadium
is the Fox Hill Supercross.
කුරුණෑගල සිරි ඇතුගල් පුරවරය
papare.com අපි අද ඇවිල්ලා ඉන්නේ නුවරඑළිය ප්‍රදේශයේ.
ෆයිනල් ෂෝඩවුන් කැන්ඩි ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ක්ලබ්
පොළොන්නරුව ජාතික සංකීර්ණයේ සිට
Crescent Mini Keeps. Try it. Love it. The original Mini Keeps, only from Crescent.
Breeder fast, Pulsar NS160 with wider tyres and twin disc brakes from David Pieris Motor Company Private Limited.
Crunchy munchy.
Fiery Kochi.
Crescent Kochi Bites. Try it. Love it. The original Kochi Bites, only from Crescent.
Sophisticated selection of Yardley, London.
Welcome back to live rugby here. The police band has left us with wonderful renditions of some classics that Paul was singing along to in the commentary box here. And the immediate restart is an untidy kickoff from Nirosh and Fernando, which has allowed police to run this one back. And a lovely offload once again from Kasun Suranga to the try scorer, Hiroshan Silva, who was picked up and dumped. Legally, says the referee. Here's Shanaka Harishchandra. And it looks like the instruction at half-time has been to be a little bit more aggressive in the tackle for Havelocks, and looks like that's exactly what they're doing. Bouncing that ball into the 22 was Johan Pieris. And that ball was pushed out into touch. Lucky to get away, not conceding a penalty. Oh, it is a penalty, so well spotted by the referee there.
Now, obviously the coach from Havies, Martas, probably would have had a few harsh words and a few home truths to tell his team. And did you see the line speed in their defence and the way that they chased the kick from the kick-off, the kick back? There's 4 or 5 numbers there up there. There's lots of players moving around. There's lots of energy in the team, lots of enthusiasm. The way to play it is like what police are doing. They're just making them move around, run all that energy out without actually having any contact. Just move the ball and play a little bit of territorial play. Let Havies blow their steam out in their own half, in their own 22.
Smart work, and I think Johan Pieris has controlled this game pretty well. Yes, Paul, I think you're absolutely right in that they sometimes need to look up and make sure they're playing what's in front of them, but can't argue with the scoreline. And Rasit Silva will be hoping that Surya Peruma can outjump Ganidhu Lakshan today, but Mohan Vimalaratne is the target in the middle of the line out. Good sack there by Chanaka Bandara. And Chanaka Harishchandra now goes a couple of feet towards the line. Good defense that time by Lakshan again. And the ball knocked forward by Rasit Silva. Just tried to reach out towards the line. And that was a little silly from him, but referee calling the sack illegal. So it'll be interesting to see how he interprets that.
Yeah, I saw him put his arm out. I thought it was actually for one of the players coming around offside before the line out had finished. But end result is that police have decided to take a scrum. Interesting. They just want to hold on to this territory instead of taking a shot at goal and then having Havies kick the ball off and be all the way down in their own half. They've decided to just hold the ball up here, maybe play with the ball a little bit longer and see if they can try and put the nail in the coffin or you know, try and finish Havies off. They want to take the steam out of Havies and put doubt in Havies' minds.
Here's Harishchandra going off the back. Almost to the line. Commander crawling his way, and what a try from the number 8. He's been a really hard-working player for Police over the last couple of years. And unscathed to the line, Paul. I haven't seen that since the Zinza and Brook days, really, to be honest, that a number 8 just manages to barge over from 5 meters out. It's a classic try.
What it was is the speed that he took off with. So he just got up out of it. As soon as the ball got to his feet, he didn't dilly-dally around. He just picked the ball up and went straight away and just took the ball hard into contact and managed to get over the line. Fantastic try. I'm a coach that says let's not pick up from number 8. Let's try and use the players on the outside. We don't want the other forwards to all be standing up and then create a situation where you've got 8 more players in the defensive line. But that time it worked.
Typical wingers philosophy in coaching, Paul. But Shamli Nawaz, thankfully for Chanaka Harishchandra, was one of the best number 8s in the business. And he would have taught him all the tricks of the trade. He saw him doing well off the back of the scrum, going backwards on his own line. And at the opposite end of the field, he's not so bad at it either. So a couple of points left on the ground from Sachit. Ganindu Lakshan on that blind side. He needed to do better.
Yeah, that's right. The blindside flanker there has got one job, and that's to cover that side. And you can't let the number 8 pick up and get over the advantage line. He let him get all the way to the try line there, so he'll be disappointed with that.
So another opportunity now for Police to run it back. 19 points to nil. None of us expected this at the start of this game. And you can see a spring now in the step of the Havelocks as Niroshan Fernando flies up to try and prevent Rasit Silva making more ground. And Rasit does well to get his knees to the floor and make it into a tackle. Good awareness of the laws from Police. Here's Johan Piris again, puts this one high for Prince Chamara, and Chamara drops it again. Sachit Silva, they do well. And here's Vimukti Rahula, who dances around and manages to find Sashan Mohammed, who juggles and holds on. Harum-scarum time for Havelocks here. And Dushmanta Priyadarshana doing what he does best, carrying the ball up at pace. Chanaka Bandara, the experienced lock forward. Here's a show and go from Havelocks, that's Aryapala. There's plenty of space on him. Nice chop tackle from Harishchandra again. And the pass is well above Dushmanta Priyadarshana's head. And as he takes it, Vagisha Veerasinghe fells him from his ankles. So Police not trying to do too much in defense, just making sure they stop these Havies lads in their tracks. Fajuddin carries it forward on the fringe. Rahul Delpachitra is on the park. So 4 changes from the pack that started the game already for Havelocks. You can see that Coach Martis is unhappy with his starters. And here's a push back from Police. Nice drive backwards. Havelocks not gaining the line. Ganindu Lakshan does well to tidy up at the base there. Here's Dushmanta Priyadarshana. Dragged down. No, he's not. He's still going. Fajuddin carries it on. And that was a lazy runner, but let's see whether the referee will call that up. Sandun Herat. The one-time lethal Sandun Herat. Let's see if he can find some form now. Trinity and Lochana Girahagama now with his first touch of the ball. Here's Herath trying to use those quick feet. Herath still going. Inspired substitution from Coach Martis. And Police desperate in defense. Inches short of the line now, Havelocks with their first foray into the 22 for some time. Fernando waits for it. Here's Chanaka Bandara. They opt for the big forward to carry the ball up to the line. Very close now from Havelocks. The fringe looks a little vulnerable and referee's got his arm up for offside. Can Havelocks finish what started 60 meters away? It's going to be another famous comeback for the Havelocks lads. Dushmanta Priyadarshana repelled. And the referee will say no advantage, and Bhumikti Rahula will take it quickly. Cutting back on the inside. Niroshan Fernando. Strong ball carrier, and this ball is turned over. That was again Shanaka Harishchandra. Somehow Havelocks have managed to rescue this ball. Great work from them. And that's the try that Havelocks so desperately wanted. And in the end, it was Aryapala who got in there and really made a nuisance of himself. Harishchandra turned the ball over and they turned it right back, and Umesh Madhusan is the man who scored.
Yeah, look, great pressure and great urgency there from Havies after half-time. They've come back and you just see a little bit more of a spring and a little bit more bite in the way they're carrying the ball, the way that they're getting over the advantage line. Everyone seems to be carrying with a little bit more intent and a little bit more purpose. Let's hope that Police, they've got 19 points to defend here. Havies have clawed back 5 points. They can easily take back the extra 14 points here. They're going to have an opportunity to take 2 points more back. So what Police need to now start thinking about doing is they need some heroes in defence. They need someone to start standing up in defence and coming up out of the line. We saw that a little bit around the halfway line. We saw a little turnover here as well, where one man from Police managed to get in over the ball.
And that's a great kick from Prince Chamara. He's dropped a couple of balls at the back, but makes no mistake with the conversion. That was important. 19-5 and 19-7 are very different scorelines. And you can almost see the body language has completely changed. Here it is. Harishchandra thought he'd turn that over. And this is where Aryapala gets into the mix. Nice to see the backs getting involved and carving a way through there. That was Umesh Madhusan. So good work. And Prince Chamara makes no mistake with the conversion. Again, Police playing for the territory, putting a nice deep kick in for Vimukti Rahula. And inviting Niroshan Fernando to kick this one back. Bhagesha Veerasinghe is there to field it. Kasun Suranga again opting to run. Long ball out, and here's a nice little step from Suranga, who comes back in support. He's isolated now, though nobody went with him. And he won't mind that. Should probably have put the little grubber or the chip in when he knew he was isolated. But good intent from Police.
Yeah, good intent. Good game management, though, do you think, Shanaka? Do you reckon that's really what they wanted to do, start throwing the ball around? Havies have now got their tails up. They're confident. They believe that they can come back. What they really needed to do was just get back into the other half, I thought, and start playing a little bit more territory. Now Havies, they're inside the 22, or they're inside the opposition half, and they have the ball. Got another opportunity here now.
Absolutely right, Paul. I thought Kasun Suranga should have opted for a little chip behind into the 22, just see what happens. But you could see also Rasit Silva saying, let's get back into that half, guys. Ganidul Akshan with his first take. Adds so much quality to that line out. Has put on a bit of weight from when he was in school. He was stick thin when he was playing for Hisipatana, but now has put on a few kilos and is looking a legitimate contender for that Sri Lanka Sevens team if he can keep fit. And the penalty coming for Police. This is where the conditioning is going to come into play. Udara Surya Peruma having a word with the ref, not for the first time in this game. and looking like he doesn't quite believe what the referee had to tell him. Good kick that time from Havelock's, taking them deep into the 22, and no prizes for guessing what's coming here.
So discipline will be an area that police will want to focus on here. They've given away 2 penalties now in the last 5 minutes. Havies have just started to march down towards that try line, and we know that teams coached by martyrs like to do this. They do play a game where they hold on to the ball until the opposition make a mistake and give away a penalty, and then they just start using territory and come down towards the try line.
Lakshan moves from number 2 to number 4, and so they've taken it nicely in the middle, splintered that maul. Ajmer Fajuddin controlling at the back. This is marching all the way towards the line. Fajuddin, police get in there to disrupt, but not without conceding the penalty. Referee's got his arm up for a offside. Karunathilaka close to the line. Here's Rahul Delpachitra. Just as he scored against CHNFC from 5 meters out, he's unstoppable. And the young Pete Wright has made a difference once again. So Havelock strike back in quick succession.
Yeah, look, it's almost as if police can't believe the scoreline either at half-time, and that it was 19-0 at one point. And now you can see their beliefs starting to be eked away by the confidence of Havies, where they just march up the field, go to a set piece, go into the process of setting a strong driving maul, and just start marching towards the try line. And it's a thing that the leaders in police will have to make sure they gather those players around and say, look, we know what we need to do. We need to start playing rugby again.
Absolutely, Paul. You could almost sense that the comeback was on, the way that Havelocks came out of that half-time huddle. And Prince Chamara with another 2-pointer makes it 14 points to 19. And suddenly this game has turned entirely on its head. The momentum has completely swung towards Havelocks. And this is where the experience and the fortitude of this police team will be tested.
Well, that's right. It's the experiences. We have another look at that try, and you can see the hard work being done by the small numbers in the team. Just picking and going, driving at the line, and they just managed to sneak over. But it's the experience that matters at these points, because experienced players know that games ebb and flow, and they know that the point now is that Havies have the momentum. At some point, if police can hold on, the momentum will come back to them, and they'll have another opportunity. So they need to just hold on here, not give away any more points, and try not concede too much territory. If the ball comes back to them here, they need to make sure that they catch it on the full.
Here's Karunathilaka has decided he's going to run, and here's Giragama now. Gives it to Aryapal. Aryapal has got Sashan Mohammed with him outside. Sashan Mohammed, can he burst to the corner? Kasun Suranka drags him down with a fingernail tackle.
Now release.
Aryapal is still going, stayed in support. Here's Havelocks with their tails up. Umesh Madhushan drives in. Rahul, haven't seen much of him with the ball in hand. Taking it to the line is Niroshan Fernando. Fajuddin. Sadun Herat screaming for it outside. Sashan Mohammed, Prince Chamara with good hands. And here's Umesh Madhushan scoring his second try of the game. And Havelocks, it almost looked like it was a training run for them in the first half. And they've decided to come back in the second half, and let's see what we can do. Let's see how much pressure we can put ourselves under and how we can respond. And boy, have they responded well.
Yeah, so that's exactly what we were talking about. Can police hold on? Madhushan picking up a second try, running like a winger there on the outside. Head up, long striding. But, that's what a bit of confidence will do, and you just need police to just start thinking about what their role is at kickoff. That's the first thing they need to start thinking about. Whoever had to get up in the middle of the field and put pressure on in the 12-13 channel or straight up the middle of the field, they didn't do that at the kickoff, and that's why Havies got around the edge and ended up getting all the way down that other side, and now they're behind the posts. And looking at a game where they'll be behind.
It's gone from 19-0 to 19-all in the blink of an eye here at Police Park. Prince Chamara looking to take the lead for the first time in this game for his team. He hasn't missed a kick yet tonight, and he doesn't again. And as you said, Paul, Police have just departed from the things that were working for them, from putting that ball in behind DRL in front of Prince Chamara. Here's Ashindu Ishan, was allowed a free rein, few missed tackles there, and this is where Girahagama straightened it out. Aryapala again drew and passed. Kasun Suranga did well to get across to Sashan Mohammed here. But after that, Police just couldn't get the numbers back. Here's a good hands from Chamara, drew and passed, and Umesh Madhushan, the ex-royalist, finishing beautifully on the wing. Johan Pires opts to kick short. It's a very good kickoff. And Bandara does well, but Surya Peruma does even better. And here's Police now with their tails up and their home crowd behind them. Karunatilaka does well to stay out of the way and not concede a penalty. Here's Surya Peruma. Good technique from the experienced second rower from Police. Rahal Delpachitra with an outstanding tackle. Chanaka Bandara helping out as well. Here's Lahiru Pavitra.
No, release!
Sadun Herath helping to drag him down.
Last foot! Reds, last foot!
And a penalty coming in for Police, and it looks like the referee might put his hand in his pocket here. He's had a decent game, the ref today. Paul has been consistent in the sense that he's been strict, but consistently strict.
Yeah, look, what I've liked about the refereeing today is that he hasn't overshadowed the game. He's let the players play, and he hasn't tried to be the star. He's just let the rugby flow, which is what we really want to see. And he did well there to keep his hand in his pocket. A little bit of petulance there from the number 8 from Havies. So now, what I'd like to see Police do, just slow the game down. Let's just try and catch our breath, get into the corner, go through the processes. What would we do if we were 19 points up? That's exactly what they need to do now.
I like that the referee almost looked like he was going to his pocket immediately, but then he had a breath as well, calmed himself down, and I think he did well to keep Karunatilaka on the pitch. There were 2 infringements from him in quick succession, but again, he just gave him a warning, and it's good to see players remain on the pitch. Lahiru Pavitra coming off now.
Get back, Reds!
Has been replaced, so Police have a replacement also for their scrum half. Primesh Danushka has come in. Mohan Vimalaratne is held up in the air a little bit more. Udara Surya Peruma swivels away from that maul. And here's Rasit Fernando, 10 meters short of the Havelock's line. The Police crowd have found their voice. The band have found their wind.
Last foot!
And again, Havelock's infringing, so they'll have to be careful here not to lose a man, the Heavies. Just couldn't get the offload away that time. Good tackle by Girahagama and Fernando. And again, this time the referee might think about it. 3 penalties in succession taken quickly. Primesh Danushka goes towards the line. Held up. But again, not 10 meters. So the referee will have another penalty coming. Since 6 tries in this game, it's been a really entertaining contest so far. Inching towards the line as they did in the first half, this Police team. They found their second win. And now Police may just think that they might lose. They might be up against 14 men. Let's see what the referee does. Niroshan Fernando probably fears the worst. And yes, it's Karunatilaka who's being called up. Escaped sanction a few seconds ago, but this time takes one for the team.
You've got to learn that when the referee talks to you, he's singled you out, and you've got to almost become invisible to the referee for the next, at least the next 5 minutes. Try not to infringe because he's just wanting to punish him. And here now, police have got the option of either taking a shot at goal, taking the lead, or what they're doing here is they're going to take the scrum. So they will have a man up. They want to play with some sort of urgency here because they want to use as much time as they can while they've got 15 players against 14. So if they do manage to get a score here, they want to get back and then keep playing as fast as they can.
Look for an 8-9 move here. Harishchandra goes to Vihanga, and that's a long pass. Oh dear, might have been touched. Yes, it was touched. So he had the right idea to go for that pass, but referee again, he's saying it wasn't a deliberate knock-on. You've seen international rugby matches where similar infringements have been given a penalty. Let's watch the hand here. And yes, that's Sadun Herat. I would think that warranted a penalty at least.
At least. At least. There's no way he's trying to catch the ball there. He's just trying to bat it away. Anyway, they got away with one. They've still got 14 men. They're still 5 metres from their own try line.
Here's Harishchandra. Turns back on the inside. Senal Dilaka doesn't let him go this time easily. Yes, police. Rasit Silva. Still close to the line. Police defending, or Havelocks rather, defending with one player short. Primesh Danushka asks his forwards to pick up and go. That's exactly what they do. Dushmanta Priyadarshana with the big tackle there. And another infringement from Havelocks. They're in danger of going down to 13 here. And that's a lovely inside ball. A little switch to Udara Surya Peruma. Great awareness there. Looking at the police, really interested in scoring under the sticks. They're not even looking on the outside where the numbers are screaming for it. Primesh Danushka now thinks about it. He's got the base of the post at his mercy, Danushka.
Last foot. Now use it.
And Danushka again leaves it for his forwards.
Now release.
Oh dear, he should really have dotted it against the post, Primesh Danushka. They've moved laterally, police. They've moved from the 15 meter line now to the other side of the posts. And we've got Yusran Lantra screaming for the winger to get the ball. But that's why they don't pass it, because they can score under the sticks. And here am I in the commentary box surrounded by wingers who have no idea what they're saying. And the police score under the sticks. You deserve that, Paul.
Speechless, but we spoke about this already, how the game was going to ebb and flow, and now police have got control of the match again. What they needed to do before was they just really needed to hold on and try and hold out until the game comes back to them. Now they've got the game. Now they need to start speeding it up, get back down here in this area of the park again, and take advantage of the numbers and take advantage of the momentum. It was great play there by police, great patience play by the police forwards. Not so great the patience by the supporters. There was penalty try being called out from all around here in the commentary box, but the forwards were doing the right thing.
Sajid Silva adds the extra points. And suddenly we've got another game on our hands. As Paul was talking about, the most important thing is the M word, the momentum. And it looked like the momentum has really swung back. Nisal Samadhi with that try there, and actually any one of the police forwards should be credited with that try. They worked so hard, and Havelocks without one of their key defenders, Lasindu Vishan. unable to hold on. So again, police from the restart, not executing too well, and that's the coach killer. They really needed to get back into the opposition half, and here's the try scorer, Rahul Delpachitra. Just between about 35 meters out. And again, Prince Chamara will look at the post surely. Both teams now, Paul, starting to infringe. A little bit of fatigue, perhaps?
Yeah, look, I've got to say that if you've got 15 against 14, discipline is paramount. You can't give away penalties because it just eats into the clock. Now they've lost the man to the bin. Evens up the numbers. I'm not sure why that was to the bin. Maybe he was slowing the ball down, but one penalty, slowing the ball down 26 metres out from the try line, as opposed to, what was it, 4 penalties down the other end, 2 metres from the try line for slowing the ball down. You've got to be consistent here, referee. If you're going to give a penalty, if you're going to send a player to the sideline for giving away his first penalty of slowing the ball down, you've got to be able to do it to the same side on the other way.
Absolutely, Paul, and this is where consistency is key, because you're generally giving penalties away. Karnatilka got it for defending in the red zone, but here 30 meters out, Vagesha Veerasinghe will think that he's a little hard done by, to be fair. Ganidhu Lakshan in the middle of the line out, it's overthrown. Poetic justice, the police fans will say, as Mohan Vimalaratne drags his forward and holds on in the tackle as well. Police as players just unable to keep up with him, and good turnover from Umesh Madhushan as well.
When something good comes from something bad, a poor throw and a poor lift and a poor jump there from Havies. That's the 4th time they've overthrown out over the back of the line out. And they managed to get a quick, get an over the ball, the tackle player, and get a penalty. Police really needed to hold on to the ball there and just get back up the other end, because they had the momentum. Now I think it might have swung back in the other way, and Havies might now have the game by the scruff of the neck.
Rukshan Dayanta goes in for police in the number 4 jersey. Think it might be Vimalaratne who comes off. We'll tell you in a moment. But Fajuddin will be absolutely livid with his lifters and jumpers today, Paul. They've made him look bad. Rasid Silva screaming for a crooked throw, but they didn't contest that, so might have lost the rights to ask for it.
Now release.
And Havelock's now marching towards the line. It looks like they've got their tails up again, leaving the ball behind, and here's the try coming in for Havelocks again. So it's end-to-end stuff here. Surya Peruma asks for the knock-on, and the referee says no, it went backwards, and Rahul Delpachitra gets a double.
Yeah, look, that's Havies really, and that's their belief and their understanding that if they do what they train from Monday to Friday, they can execute this. So this is no surprise to them. This is what they do every day of the week, and when they come here and it's a Saturday or it's Friday evening, they can do it again. So they know exactly what they're doing. But police, they just need to gather themselves here. They've still got an opportunity to win this game. It's a topsy-turvy match for sure. If they can get back down the other end, wrestle back the match, they'll have an opportunity.
Well, it's a tough conversion for Prince Chamara, the hardest kick that he's taken today. So this conversion will make a huge difference. Remember, the last match between these two last year ended in a 24-all draw. And that one is just short. Oh dear, comes off the crossbar. Can you get much closer than that? And this is where Havelocks will be tested. And that was seen by the referee. And he said that it wasn't a knock-on, that the ball went backwards. So as long as he saw it and made a decision, I don't think there can be any criticism there.
Well, here we go. It's all tied up. 26 all.
Well, who'd have thunk it, Paul, given that police won the end of a 38-10 thrashing by Sia last week. They expected Havies to do much of the same, but they've stood up manfully, and whatever the result of this game is, They've really given a good account of themselves to the police. With 12 minutes to go, it's anybody's game. Umesh Madhushan makes good ground from the kickoff. This is where police's defense will be tested. Numbers even. And with the numbers even, it seemed almost like it was a balancing act there for Vagisha Veerasinghe to go off. Primesh Danushka getting involved in the rucks as well, the smallest man on the pitch. Kasun Suranga screams for it. Now finds it, and Sadun Herat, who has been one of the more inspired substitutions by coach Sanat Martis. All over him like a rash. Danushka needs to look for the box kick here. Sadun Herat was walking away from that very much like he didn't want to be a part of that next breakdown. And that's a lovely kick from... and that ball was palmed forward.
What a great kick. What you want from your kicker there is to be able to kick within the 5 metres, between 5 metres and the sideline. So they're saying that the ball was out before he knocked it on. So that's why it's Havelock throw-in.
I think the assistant ref's got that spot on, Paul, because the ball was out. And if it's palmed by a player who's outside the line and he doesn't come back into the field of play, it is out. So once again, Yusran Lantra looking at us in askance, and what a surprise that the winger doesn't know the rules. Azmir Fajuddin now with an important throw. Ganidul Lakshan takes it nicely in the middle. And the police won't mind this.
Well, they won't like going backwards. They just got marched back 10 metres, but...
Here's Fernando taking it to the line. And not rolling away, says the referee. I thought that was harsh on Johan Pires, who did his best.
Well, I think he had his hands on the ball and was off his feet. But what a great kick. So he's outside the ball got passed to him from outside the 22, so he couldn't kick it out on the full, and that's out. Is it? Was the whole ball out? The whole ball have to go over outside the plane, or is it just has to touch the plane, or?
It just has to cross the plane, Paul. So it has to cross the plane of touch, and if
just touch the line.
Not touch the line, it's just got to cross what is known as a parallel line drawn upwards from the touch line, so it has to cross the line, and I think
the whole ball has to cross.
The whole ball has to cross the line.
And what about when it can just touch the line, isn't it? Like if someone's holding the ball and their foot just touches the line, it doesn't have to go all the way over the...
It's still out though.
It's out, yeah, you're right. Just clearing up from the Oracle. It is the Ford's commentator.
Here's again 2 substitutions that I think may have swung this match in favour of Havelocks. Ganidul Lakshan coming in place of Sharo Fernando. And then Sadun Herat, Rasid Silva swam through the middle there, so he wasn't allowed. And oh dear, that was seen as a interception, and Sadun Herat's clear bat down of the ball. I thought this man had a much better chance of catching the ball, and he just knocked it on when it was in the breadbasket. But Sadun Herat's was ruled not to be even a penalty. So, well, we've spoken the ref up, but in the last 10 minutes, he's made us look a little silly.
Not that we needed help with that, but it's the urgency here that both teams need to show. So what Havies have got right now in the last 8 minutes of this match, or 7 minutes in this match, is they have urgency on their side. Their team know what they need to do because of what they've gone through in the last 3 weeks. They know that for the last 5-6 minutes, they need to give everything they can. Now, police, without that experience, they don't know what it takes to win a game from this point. And that might be a telling factor.
Karunatilaka is back at the back of the scrum and he'll try to walk this one over. Lovely try. Beautiful work. Making up for the yellow card that he's just conceded. We've seen two excellent tries from number 8s today. Really good work from the forwards in front of them, and they've just burst through and scored. So good work from Havelocks again, and this might just be a hurdle too far for the police to climb.
Yeah, that's right. I don't want to count them out. They can still come back. There's still time, but I'd say a lot of the belief would have drained out from their tanks there. But that tight 5 that have got are just so powerful and dominant in the scrums. Their line out is so well constructed as well. It's all about set piece for them, isn't it? And they do it so well. They've probably got one of the better set pieces in the competition.
Certainly have. Again, it was from a well-constructed driving maul. And Prince Charmerer looks to take this beyond doubt. Oh, pulls it across the face of the post. So the pressure telling on both teams.
So here we can see some urgency from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players from police ran up to take the kick. Well, we had 9 players just coming for a stroll.
Police opt to go short again, Paul. Surprising. I thought they would have wanted to camp down in the opposite 22. Here's where they really don't need to infringe. Fajuddin hits it up, has played 75 minutes, which is good for front row forwards. Dushmanta Priyadarshana came on early in the game and has striven manfully since then. Here's Madhushan, who's been outstanding in the loose. Big kick from Niroshan Fernando. That's an outstanding kick, but Kasun Suranga feels it well. Looks for a little bit of space, can't find any. And
He's
does
pretty lucky
well.
to get away with that. He didn't really look like he was back on his feet.
Johan Pires, that's the first time we've seen him run, and makes good yards. And Rukshan Dayanta, there was surely a no-arms tackle from Rahal Delpachitra there, but referee letting it go. Those are the dangerous ones, the ones that are around the knees and are all shoulder. Block tackles used to be called in the day, but Dushmanta Priyadarshana getting in there and covering up the fringe nicely.
No, Reds, release down, Reds.
Umesh Madhushan thought he had the turnover, but this is where they've got to make a decision. Is it within Sachit Silva's range, or do they go for the corner?
Oh, look, do they want to get to 29-31, or do they want to win the match? I think they'd want to win the match here. They've put in a pretty good shift. They've gotten within 5 points. Gotta be more accurate than that. That's a
Oh dear.
terrible kick, but they get away with it.
It's worked out nicely for them. And Prince Charmerer has been almost directly responsible for a couple of real gaffes at the back. He's kept his team in it though with his accurate kicking. But they've really missed Mubarak at the back with that solidity.
Back 10 meters. Back 10 meters.
And it was a good defense from Janit Chanaka, who came on. He lined up the ball carrier and let him know that he wasn't going to fall for any dummies. And that's a beautiful take. Dragged down. And the ball knocked forward, so real fatigue coming.
Gee, I thought they were pretty unlucky there, police. It looked like they'd set up the maul before it was sacked, and there were players all around and there were players from both sides, but Havies get away with one.
Well, Dushmanta Priyadarshana on the left of your screen just collapsed. Absolutely nothing wrong with him, just wants a breather.
Yeah, wants a breather, just, oh, another one's gone down. So they're all having a little break. Often we see this in the forwards.
Absolutely, Paul, nothing wrong with it.
just changes the momentum of the game and just takes the steam out of players. So really what Police have got at the moment, they've got a lot of urgency. They can feel like they might be able to do something if they can get up and they can do something here in the scrum, although they haven't been able to do much in the scrum so far. They've got a little bit of momentum. So what that player from Havies did by going on the ground, they just slows the momentum down, but it just evens it all out, and now Havies can come back. It's a miracle recovery.
Priyadarshana knew that that'd be a scrum for him to put in a shift on, so decided to take a bit of a breather. This is where the Police reserves will be tested. Havies have a pretty tired front five. And Havelocks march it forward. Well done by them. Bind has broken, so the penalty is coming. This is why Priyadarshana needed the break. Walking it forward like oxen in front of their cart. Aryapala to Fernando. Here's Sashan Mohammed. Prince Charmer, can he make amends? Nope, is the answer to that. Vimukti Rahula. And penalty for tackling, perhaps?
Monstering, that was called. Almost ragdolled that player to the ground. He just walked straight over the top of him. It looks like that's the end of the game.
Yes, that is the end of the game, and what a cruel blow for Police, who struggled manfully, and it was a game-changing call. And I think our man of the match, perhaps Umesh Madhushan, Paul, absolutely right. The number 4 for Havelocks, who was excellent in defence, excellent in the set piece, and also scored a try on the wing.
Yeah, that's right. Look, he had an outstanding game. He was part of that set piece, and he did a lot of things right. Havies again, the come from behind Kings. They were 19 points down at one point just after the resumption of the second half, and just managed to come back and turn the whole game on its head, and came away with the points. So well done, and great for their belief, because they'll believe that they can give away any score at the beginning at half time, and they can still come back, and they played for the full 80 minutes. We saw their set piece, their line out. Their line out was a little bit shaky. Every time they threw to number 6 in the line out, they didn't have any joy there at all. But when they threw to number 4 and number 2, they didn't really throw to number 2 very often, but when they threw to number 4, they were very successful. They managed to set up that driving maul. They came away with 2 tries there, and their scrum just completely destroyed Police. In the second half, they completely destroyed Police, but their set piece is so strong, I think they'll be able to take that forward into the rest of the season.
And one man we haven't talked about, we've given a man of the match to Umesh Madhushan, and he absolutely deserves it. But one man who realised early on what he needed to change in this game, Paul, coach Sanath Martis, sending Ganidul Akshan in really changed the dynamic of that line-out. Shara Fernando, not as quick a jumper, and that line-out was what really set up a lot of the tries for Havelocks there. Here we see the first try scored by Police, and this was early doors. And suddenly, Havelocks looked like they were down and out in this game. Here's the first one that Charmer missed. Shifas putting in the little kick just short of the 22. And really good work from Vagisha Veerasinghe here today. Didn't throw this pass here, hung on to it. And Kasun Suranga lifted up off the floor, but managed to get the ball away. And watch the run here. The mismatch. Umesh Madhushan, Dushmantha Priyadarshana, both brushed aside, and Iroshan Silva scored for his brother to convert. And that's where we thought that things were looking good. And here's Shanika Harishchandra coming back off that the back of that scrum. And I thought he had a very good game as well, Harishchandra, as did Surya Peruma. And this was the forwards rush that ended up in a try for Havies. And Prince Charmer kept them in the hunt.
As we have a look at the highlights, Shanika and see Havies coming back and swinging the game back towards their favour. You'd have to think that Coach Martis from Havies will want to start a little bit better than he has in the last 3 weeks. Instead of giving away such a lead, he'll want his players to start playing like this. Look how free-flowing they are. and they're getting so far over the advantage line. It's because of the intensity that they had in the second half. They just had numbers here, and here's our man of the match, taking the ball through and scoring a try like a winger.
It's always nice when forwards can play like that, and Umesh Madhushan is really a guy that should probably be looked at in terms of 7th selection as well, if he can bulk down a little. And that's Nizal Samadhi putting Police back into the game, back into the lead momentarily. And here's Rahul Delpachitra. They didn't see him coming, and the big Peterite didn't need a second invitation. Here's Lasindu Vishan. He knew this was his try all the way. If they didn't walk it over, he was going by the side. And Surya Peruma just couldn't get free of Kanidu Lakshan in time to try and make a tackle, and Lasindu Vishan scores a good number 8 try. And it was a really entertaining game though, Paul, wasn't it? The favourites emerged winners, but we've seen as many as 9 tries in this game.
Yeah, that's right. It was great entertainment. We saw Police kick out in the beginning where there's no real pressure on them and they're just playing for fun, and that's why they're able to score those tries early on. It tightens up as they get closer and closer to the finish line, and that's all about experience, knowing what to do when there's only 5-10 minutes left to go. You can see there's the 9 tries there, 5 tries for Havies, 4 tries for the Police, 31-26 is the final score. 3 conversions each, but it'll be put down to experience for the police team, and they'll now know. Hopefully they'll get to have a look at the tape and look to see where they might be able to change a few things as far as how they play, so that they can win close matches like this. They've got to have belief that they can do it, and they've got to not be scared of the finish line.
Absolutely, Paul. They really need to know how to react, especially after they scored. Here's the upcoming week. Army will play CHNFC. That's tomorrow on the 1st of December. And the Air Force and the Navy will play each other as well. And Kandy will play Sia on the Sunday. That will be a very important game for the 2 unbeaten teams as well. And Havelocks will be hoping that after that game, perhaps they will be able to retain that number 1 spot which they have gone into today as a result of today's victory. Next week we have, actually that's today, that's this week's games. So keep it locked to ThePapare.com to make sure that you catch all that action. We'll bring you Army and CH tomorrow, and Navy and CRNFC and Kandy. Who's your money on for that game, Paul?
Well, look, Kandy are pretty difficult to beat up in the hills, but let's see what CR have got. They've got some belief at the moment because they've had a winning run. There's some people that say they haven't had any real hard games, but players that play rugby say that they're all hard, but they're going to be really tested up in Kandy. So I'm not sure if they'll be able to get through that.
Join me on the breakdown every Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. That's when it comes out. Rugby PTA also at the same time on Tuesday. And our other segment, Try of the Week. Make sure you vote for your Try of the Week. Plenty of tries from today, I think, might be on that segment as well as the upcoming week's games. So that brings us to the end of this broadcast. Live dialogue rugby league action on ThePapare.com. And you're on Sri Lanka's number 1 sports hub. From Paul, Toya and myself and the rest of the Papare production team, thanks for joining us. It's good night from Police Park.
Crunchy munchy.
Fiery Kochi.
Crescent Kochi Bites. Try it. Love it. The original Kochi Bites only from Crescent.
අපේ ගෙදර හැමෝටම ඉන්ටනෙට් ඕනේ. මොබිටෙල් වයිෆයි රවුටරේ නිසා ගෙදරදි කිසි ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ. අපි වෙන වෙනම ඉන්ටනෙට් ගියත් පැකේජ් එක එකයි. ඒත් ගෙදරින් එළියට ගියාම හැමෝටම පැකේජ් එක අරන් යන්න පුළුවන්ද? Hey බැරි. මොබිටෙල් වයිෆයි ප්ලස් පැකේජ් එක තියෙන්නේ. ලංකාවේ කොහේ ගියත් රවුටරේ ගෙදර තියෙද්දි ගෙදර හැමෝටම එකම පැකේජ් එකෙන් වෙන වෙනම ඉන්ටනෙට් යන්න පුළුවන් එකම ක්‍රමය. මොබිටෙල් වයිෆයි ප්ලස් විතරයි. ඒ විතරක් නෙමේ. එක බිලයි කනෙක්ෂන්ස් ගොඩයි.
Crescent Mini Keeps. Try it. Love it. The original Mini Keeps only from Crescent.
අපේ ගෙදර හැමෝටම ඉන්ටනෙට් ඕනේ. මොබිටෙල් වයිෆයි රවුටරේ නිසා ගෙදරදි කිසි ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ. අපි වෙන වෙනම ඉන්ටනෙට් ගියත් පැකේජ් එක එකයි. ඒත් ගෙදරින් එළියට ගියාම හැමෝටම පැකේජ් එක අරන් යන්න පුළුවන්ද? Hey බැරි. මොබිටෙල් වයිෆයි ප්ලස් පැකේජ් එක තියෙන්නේ. ලංකාවේ කොහේ ගියත් රවුටරේ ගෙදර තියෙද්දි ගෙදර හැමෝටම එකම පැකේජ් එකෙන් වෙන වෙනම ඉන්ටනෙට් යන්න පුළුවන් එකම ක්‍රමය. මොබිටෙල් වයිෆයි ප්ලස් විතරයි. ඒ විතරක් නෙමේ. එක බිලයි කනෙක්ෂන්ස් ගොඩයි.
Sophisticated selection of Yardley, London.
Breeder fast Pulsar NS160 with wider tyres and twin disc brakes from David Pieris Motor Company Private Limited.
අපේ ගෙදර හැමෝටම ඉන්ටනෙට් ඕනේ. මොබිටෙල් වයිෆයි රවුටරේ නිසා ගෙදරදි කිසි ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ. අපි වෙන වෙනම ඉන්ටනෙට් ගියත් පැකේජ් එක එකයි. ඒත් ගෙදරින් එළියට ගියාම හැමෝටම පැකේජ් එක අරන් යන්න පුළුවන්ද? Hey බැරි. මොබිටෙල් වයිෆයි ප්ලස් පැකේජ් එක තියෙන්නේ. ලංකාවේ කොහේ ගියත් රවුටරේ ගෙදර තියෙද්දි ගෙදර හැමෝටම එකම පැකේජ් එකෙන් වෙන වෙනම ඉන්ටනෙට් යන්න පුළුවන් එකම ක්‍රමය. මොබිටෙල් වයිෆයි ප්ලස් විතරයි. ඒ විතරක් නෙමේ. එක බිලයි කනෙක්ෂන්ස් ගොඩයි.